Hi guys, today we're going to be canning some beef. There are two methods you can use to cook beef, to can beef. Both of them require a pressure canner. You're going to pressure can it for 90 minutes. There's the raw pack method and the fully cooked method. In the raw pack method, you're just going to chop this up into chunks and get it down in your jar, and you're not going to add anything else to it. If it were fully cooked, you would add hot liquid to your meat as well. So the first thing you're going to do is chop this up into about 1-inch chunks. All right, now that it's cut, you're going to get your hot, sterile jars ready, and you're going to pack your beef down in there as tight as you can. You really want to push it down and get as much in there as you can. Now I'm going to use the raw pack method because my meat is only cooked to about a medium rare to rare. So it's going to have plenty of its own juices to go ahead and cook down in. If this was any more cooked, I would definitely use the cooked method, and I could add water or I could add broth, whatever I wanted with my meat. So go ahead and get your meat packed into your jars. I'm using pints. You can use pints or quarts. It's just going to change your processing time in the end. So that chunk of meat gave me 4 pints packed tight. I'm going to go ahead and put my lids on. This equates to about 4 meals for me. Now you want to put your lids and your rings are going to be fingertip tight. Fingertip tight means tighten it with your fingertips. You don't need to screw it down. I made the mistake of doing that once when I canned some chili, and my lids actually like imploded on themselves. So once you have your lids and rings on, you can go ahead and load them into the canner. And then you want to make sure you have about 2 to 3 inches of water. So I do not have enough water right now. I'm going to go ahead and add some more water. All right, now that I have enough water, I'm going to go ahead and put my lid on. Make sure you follow the rules of your specific canner for safety. For mine, you have to oil the lid, and then you have to screw these screws on. If yours has screws like this, you want to screw them alternating sides. So straight across from each other. 1, 2. 1, 2, straight across from each other. I'm going to go ahead and tighten all of those down. All right, I have all of my screws tightened. I have my arrows lined up. My canner is set, ready to go. It is on the fire, getting nice and happy. Now, for meat, I'm going to can pint jars at 10 pounds of pressure for my altitude and 75 minutes. For quarts, it would be 90 minutes. If you have a higher altitude, then your pounds of pressure change. Make sure you check that based on where you live. So first step is we are going to wait until we get a constant stream of pressure coming out of this. That's called venting it, and we're going to vent it for 10 minutes. Our timer of 75 minutes has not started yet. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. You can kind of hear it if you listen. It's venting now, so I'm going to go ahead and at this point set a timer for 10 minutes. Again, your 75-minute timer still hasn't started. We're going to set our 10-minute timer right now and let it vent. Once it's been venting for 10 minutes, you're going to go ahead and add your weight at 10 pounds for my altitude. Remember, you need to go by your own altitude. For my altitude, it's 10 pounds. Once this hits the weight on your weight, it's going to start shaking the weight and making a sound. So we're going to go ahead and wait, and I will come back when that is happening. All right, so here is the magic sound we're looking for. We have reached 10 pounds of pressure, a little bit over. I just turned the heat down a little bit. We want to maintain 10 pounds, and it's making the noise. Now we are going to start our timer for 75 minutes. We're going to let it cook for 75 minutes, and then we're going to shut it off. After 75 minutes, you're going to turn off your heat and let your pressure come down to 0 on its own. Once it comes down to 0, you're going to go ahead and remove your weight. Once your pressure has reached 0, you can go ahead and remove your weight. And then you're going to let the whole pressure canner cool down a little bit. Okay, once you've let your pressure canner cool, you're going to go ahead and unscrew it and take the lid off. That's what we got. And get our jars out. See it cook down, it released some juice. It's all what it was supposed to do. Ooh, that one's still bubbling. Oh, they're all still bubbling. And that's why we didn't add any liquid when we do the raw pack method, because they cook down in their own liquids. Now we're gonna let these sit here and continue to cool on the counter overnight. And then we're going to remove our rings to make sure they sealed properly and go ahead and label them and get them on our shelves. This meat will last, USDA says this meat lasts 2 to 5 years. I'm comfortable with about 1 year. But yeah, that is canned beef.